everybody, today we are going to be making sourdough discard crackers. It is super easy and one of the best things you can start out with if you're starting with sourdough. So today you will need a cup of sourdough discard. You're gonna need a cup of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of some sea salt, and 4 tablespoons of butter. You will need a little bit of oil depending on if you want to drizzle it or not. You also will need different seasonings. I'm going to do different batches of my dough with different seasonings. You can do one seasoning for all your dough if you want to do that. So first we're going to measure out our sourdough. You're going to want 1 cup, which is roughly 227 grams. Next, you're going to need the 1 cup of flour. You're going to just mix this all together. Next, a half teaspoon of sea salt. And then 4 tablespoons of butter. I actually just made this butter. It is my first time to ever make homemade butter, so I have another video if you want to learn how to make butter. You can go check that out. You also want to make sure that your butter is at room temperature, which mine is not, so I'm fixing to soften it a little bit. So now you just want to mix it in. All right, now I'm going to divide my dough into different batches depending on how many different flavors I want to use. You want to mix it just till it's combined. You don't want to over mix it. So I think I'm going to do some with red pepper flakes, some garlic and onion, some Italian seasoning, and then some rosemary. So I'm actually going to put the garlic and onion seasoning in probably all of it, just because I love garlic and onion. And then I will divide out the other 3. Yeah, that sounds good. We'll do that. I'm gonna do about a tablespoon each of the garlic and the onion and mix that in with the entire dough, and then I'll separate that out and use the different seasonings after that. I'm just going to work that into the dough. All right, I'm going to separate this into 3 different pieces. All right, first up, the red pepper flakes. I'm not really measuring this out. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I kind of like some spice. So, just gonna go with it. And like I did the garlic and onion, I'm just gonna kind of fold that into each other. That way it's good and incorporated throughout the entire dough. Next up, Italian seasoning. All right, and last but not least, I'm actually going to do 1 batch that is just strictly rosemary because I absolutely love rosemary and I love how it smells. So we're gonna make crackers that are just rosemary. I'm also kind of flattening out the dough before I put the seasoning on it. That way I can kind of fold it in and it incorporates a lot better. Oh, that smells so good. It makes me want to get some oil and start dipping some bread in it, which I probably will do after these are done. Alrighty, so we're going to take our 3 different dough balls and we are going to put them in the fridge for about 30 minutes. That's all the time that I have. Really, ideally, you should leave them in there for a few hours, but it is Super Bowl Sunday and I'm trying to get these done before the game. So 30 minutes it is. I'm just gonna put them back in the bowl that I mixed everything with and cover it with either saran wrap or a towel. In my case, a towel, because that's what I have on hand. 30 minutes. And now is the time that we're going to roll it out. You're gonna wanna get some parchment paper and take your dough, and we're going to roll it out as thin as possible. You want to go ahead and have your oven preheating to 350 degrees as well. That way it can be heating up while you're rolling out your dough. And like I said, you want it to be as thin as possible. Otherwise, you're going to have more of a pita type bread. The thinner you get, the more of it, it'll be like a cracker. All right, that's about as thin as I can get that one without it starting to tear. The easiest way I have found to cut crackers is with a pizza cutter. You can use a knife. It may tear your crackers a little bit. The pizza roller does a really good job. You can make them whatever size you want. For those of you who may be new to baking, do not use wax paper. Never put wax paper in any sort of heat because it will melt. Next, we'll do the Italian seasoning. And last but not least, the rosemary. Okay, the last thing you want to do right before you stick them in the oven is you want to brush all your crackers with a little bit of oil. And then you want to take a fork and you just want to poke holes. Just a few holes in each of the crackers. This is going to help keep them from puffing up and making them more into a pita bread. This will help them be more of a cracker. And then it's time to put them in the oven. You're gonna want to bake them for about 20 to 25 minutes, depending on your oven. You want to take them out when they're golden browns. And if you're doing more than one tray like I'm fixing to, about halfway through, you wanna rotate the trays to make sure that each are getting the same amount of heat. And that's it. Now, I'm gonna take them out. And there you have it, crackers. I'm gonna take these off and then put these back in so that these can brown a little bit more. But that's it, have fun, and it is a super easy little sourdough beginning project.